Let's get started. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, everybody. This is Seth Green, founder of Market Domination LLC. Thanks so much for joining us today or watching the replay. Super excited for today's webinar about how to get people who will literally pay to be on your list from a traffic platform you probably have never advertised on before that is completely unsaturated. So super excited to be introducing John Colley. John is a former British Army officer who has master's degrees from Cambridge University and Cass Business School in London. Got over 30 years of investment banking experience behind him. But what's more important, even though that makes him obviously super smart, is that he spent the last 10 years developing his own digital and consulting business, including becoming a best-selling online course instructor. He's also the host of the online learning podcast, which is approaching 1 million downloads since it was launched. And here's the really, really cool part that you're going to be super excited about today. John has never spent a cent on paid advertising. John is an expert at generating leads who pay him to be on his list, and he's going to share that strategic approach with you today. So let me hand it over to John. Get your paper and your pen ready. I am super excited to take pages of notes. One of the reasons why I got John on to do this is because I wanted to learn it myself. So John, start teaching, man.
Brilliant.
We need to know.
And there we go. So we're ready to go. So welcome to this webinar. To be here, and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3 secrets to generating leads that pay to get on your list from an untapped source that you've never advertised on before. So a warm welcome to everybody, and we're ready to get cracking. So the whole idea about today is that I'm going to go in absolutely no holds barred. I want to show you exactly how you can generate leads that will pay you to be on your list. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do it and lots of smart tactics to make the most of this strategy. Now, I've got some great stuff I want to share with you today. So grab your coffee or water, whatever you need, get comfortable, close out distractions. I've actually just turned off my phone because at 5 o'clock exactly, somebody managed to call me. Shut down Facebook, Twitter, Skype, and everything else. But really focus on this because I think you're going to find it super helpful. And I really want to make sure that you get all the detail. Now, if you've got any questions during the presentation, we've got a chat box in the left-hand side, so you can pop stuff in there. I'm going to try and deal with questions at the end, but by all means, if you've got questions, pop them into the chat box, and we'll definitely make as much time as we need at the end to take questions. So let's have a look and ask the question, who is this for? Well, if you are any of the following, this may help you. Are you an author, a speaker, a coach, or a consultant? Maybe you're a thought leader. Maybe you're a digital marketer or an information product creator. And if you're any of those or anything close to that, this is definitely for you. Because if you're tired of trying to make money online and struggling to find new leads to make sales and turn your business into a real business, then you're going to love what I've got for you. Now, this webinar is not for you if you're just looking for a get rich quick scheme, because I'm afraid they don't exist. And I certainly wouldn't be trying to peddle one. So hopefully you're the sort of person like me who loves, and like Seth, who loves rolling up your sleeves and taking real action. Now, if you stick around to the end, I have got a special bonus for you. Basically, I'm going to give you your very own lead generation crystal ball. It's my treasure map, if you like. The idea is that you'll be able to profit from a very little known resource, which will enable you completely for free to identify profitable niches and create online courses that are better than the best-selling courses in any niche you care to choose. It's absolutely live, up-to-date, real insider information. It's just like a treasure map. It's going to show you how to find the hottest leads and how to outcompete the strongest competitors. It's completely free, and I show you how, because I teach you how to exploit this resource to the most. So if you want the bonus, definitely stick around till the end, and I'll show you exactly how you access it And again, it's an extra little bonus just for you guys for turning up and being here today. So what are you going to learn in this presentation? 3 secrets to generating leads that pay to get on your list from an untapped source, no less, and exactly how to do it. By the end of the presentation, you will know how to do that. I promise you that, because I've spent a lot of time prepping all this to make sure you get the best value from it. A quick introduction to me. Who am I? After that very flattering introduction from Seth, thank you very much. Well, I'm an online course instructor, podcaster, speaker. I love going to conferences. I've created over 40 online courses, and at the moment, and this number changes every day, I keep on having to update it, I've got over 142,000 students in my courses. It gives me a 5-figure income just from my online courses. And in fact, when I go to some conferences, some people call me Mr. Udemy. And in fact, when that firm was moving offices about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, they asked me if they could name one of their meeting rooms after me. And I just hope that they don't refer to it colloquially as the John. That's an American joke. Anyway, I graduated from Cambridge University with a bachelor's, then did a master's. I spent then 5 years in the British Army. I then went into investment banking, where I've been doing international tech M&A for about 30 years. And I picked up an MBA along the way as well, because I just quite like doing those things. So as you can imagine, I know quite a lot about online courses. I know a lot about starting and growing businesses, and I love online business and digital business. So how did this all start? Well, let me share with you very quickly how I came to completely pivot my life from investment banking to basically digital business. Following the financial crash in 2008, as you can imagine, there were far too many investment bankers and not many clients. So I had to find some way of leveraging my expertise. And I did this by, I tried blogging, didn't really get me far. I tried podcasting, which is going really well, but it wasn't very remunerative. And obviously I've made videos and stuff and put them on YouTube. But to be absolutely honest, I was really shooting in the dark. I didn't have a very great idea what I was doing. I didn't really have a strategy. But then I discovered that online courses were the key to not only making money, but also to building a fantastic list of leads. And I'm sure you're going to find, when I explain to you exactly how you do it, how you can use these to grow your audience, to grow your list of leads who are going to pay you for it, and to grow your influence. So I did do an awful lot that was wrong. It hasn't been all straightforward. And inevitably, swapping investment banking for digital business is not a natural swap. Now, I've launched courses that bombed. I've spent days and weeks publishing and promoting a platform that was then shut down. I've created lots of courses which were longer than they needed to be, wasting me time and losing me money. So I've really struggled at times to achieve what I was trying to achieve, which is trying to build an audience and a tribe that really believed in me. But I've also done a lot of things right by learning how to do them the hard way. And I don't want you to have to go through that process. I want to guide you and show you the right way and the easy way to do this. So it doesn't have to be that difficult. A warm welcome to Christina and to Mr. T as well. I've just switched across to the attendees so I can see who's on. So good to see you here. After making loads of courses and publishing them on a range of platforms, I realized that actually there is a way to play this game and to win at it. And the key is to create a portfolio of courses at a range of price points, but to grow your audience of motivated customers who will want to repeatedly buy from you, because they become an amazing source of warm leads who are already buying into what you are sharing with them. Now, as you can see, as one of the consequences of my work is I've actually been signed up by Forbes fairly recently. So I've now got Forbes out there selling my courses and gathering leads for me, which is just an example of what I'm going to be sharing with you. So if only somebody had explained to me what I know now when I was starting out, I could have saved a huge amount of time, which is what I want to save you. Let's touch very briefly, if you will, on some of my students. That's the current number, 143,241. I updated that this morning. They've been kind enough to say things like, very insightful, makes the stress of creating a course from scratch and wondering if it's going to be any good a lot more manageable. Done his homework, his course is detailed and easy to follow. Thank you, Bill, very kind. Esteban has said things like a unique approach for creating courses and insights. Marcello loves the fact that the lectures provide relevant information. So all these are people who have benefited from my teaching, and I'm very delighted to have in my tribe of people who I didn't know from Adam, and yet now they are saying great things about me. A technical instructor who doesn't just talk theory. So that's really, really very encouraging. But let me share with you why I love online courses and creating leads who pay me. Yes, I've been very successful in selling them. I've got actually in my Teachable School at the moment, I've got 26 courses. I've got a membership program. I've got premium content in my Thinkific Academy. And I get asked actually pretty well on a weekly basis now to share my courses in a new marketplace. And every time I do that, that's somebody else who is marketing for me to bring leads back to me. We've talked about the podcast and how well that's been going. There's a new season coming up soon. So on this one platform, I have got over 70,000 individual students, i.e. leads, and they've actually paid me. They've paid me over $84,000 to get on my list. That's not a self-liquidating offer where you pay a lot of money out front and they pay you enough money to get back. I haven't paid anything for these people. They've simply paid me. The cash flow has gone one way. And that's what I love about this system. So you can imagine what you might be able to achieve. This could be your revenue report. And as you can see, it's bang up to date as of this morning. And that's simply on this one platform. And as I said, these students, these leads have not cost me a cent. And can you imagine what you could do with that income? And thinking now about building your business and being able to reinvest money into your business because you've got people who are paying you to get onto your list. I think it's brilliant. So 3 secrets to generating leads that pay to get on your list. Let's take a look. And yes, of course, it involves online courses, but it's the way you approach the online courses and the way you think about the people who are in your online courses, that is the critical thing. So hopefully you're all still with me and enthusiastic. I'd love to hear and see comments from you in the chat box. So if you are following this and we're just about to launch into the core of the teaching, perhaps just put messages into the box to let me know that we're all good and you are following what I've got so far. Seth, brilliant. Great to hear from you. Thank you very much. John, thank you very much. Good to go. Brilliant. I'm glad to see. It feels sometimes like I'm talking to the ether, but I'm good to know you're here. Okay. So let me quickly say, of course, that I have to give you the caveat. Results are not typical. I can tell you all this stuff, but I can't do it for you. I can tell you how to do it, but it's really going to be down to you at the end of the day to make this happen. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is completely transparent, completely open. I'm really, they talk about kimonos. I'm not dropping the kimono, but I'm not sure if that's the mixed metaphor. But I have to say that you know, you have to do the work to get the results. This isn't going to happen for you automatically. So why online courses? I think this is the key question that we've got to address before we can really move and show you how they work. Well, let me give you 4 good reasons why I think online courses are brilliant. First of all, you're establishing yourself as an authority in your field. Secondly, they're scalable. You can create them once and you can set them out there and sell them as many times as you like. You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, you see who's bought them. Brilliant. They actually have a very high perceived value. So even though you can sell them for as little as $9 or as much as thousands of dollars, you can create huge amounts of value for your audience, and they will feel and understand the value you're creating for them and be prepared to pay you for it. Finally, of course, when people enroll in your courses, they're buying into, but literally buying into you, and they become part of your tribe. And they are effectively, just as they do when they subscribe to your email list, except they don't pay you for that, they are enabling you and permissioning you to talk to them and communicate with them. And this is where some of the magic starts to happen. And of course, I believe, and here's a little bit of highbrow vision, that online courses really can change the world. And I put this slide up because I've got students in 184 countries, 24.3% of them from the US, covering people who speak 52 different languages. I only speak one, but I can change the world with these online courses, and so can you, and you can create this tribe of people who are going to be throwing money at you. So let's look at these 3 secrets in a bit more detail, and I'm going to take you through them step by step. But the 3 secrets are very straightforward. First of all, go somewhere where no one else is advertising. Okay, and by that, I mean where you will have no competition from other people trying to advertise against your dollar and therefore pushing the cost per click up. Secondly, generate organic traffic from these leads back to your own site or platform. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how to do that. And then thirdly, you basically sell a Tripwire offer to your prospects, either on the original platform or when they get back to your site. And therefore, they're paying you for the privilege of being on your list. So let's take a look in a bit more detail at secret number 1. Go somewhere else that no one else is advertising to get them to pay on your list. Now, the issue about this is, and there's a little lateral thought come in here, is that I'm going to send you or recommend that you go to platforms where fundamentally you can't advertise. There is no advertising. Because on these course marketplaces, and this is what we're talking about, you put your courses up there and the marketplace goes out and does the marketing for you to the world. So the beauty about this is actually, because there's no advertising, you don't have to spend any money, and they go and do all the work to, and they have a teams of people to do this, to go and sell your courses across the internet. Absolutely love it. So what do you need to achieve this? Well, the first thing you'll need, obviously, because you don't want to fall flat on your face like the chap in the picture, is you need to have a clear expertise that you can monetize in the form of a product or service. And I'm assuming, because you're on here, that everybody who's on the webinar today can do this. Secondly, you need to create an inexpensive product that you can sell to a prospect or a lead. And then, of course, you need somewhere to sell it where you don't need to spend any money on advertising. You need a process, therefore, through which your prospects can find you, engage with you, come to know, like, and trust you, and then pay you. So what does this all add up to? It means you need to identify that skill that you can offer to your leads so that you can create an online course around it, which doesn't have to be long or complicated. And you then sell them that course on marketplaces where they pay you and where the marketplaces do all the advertising for you. And the difference is that normally the instructors on these platforms see these people as students, and that's as far as their interest goes. Okay, we've got some signups in the course, we'll get some more. No, you're looking at them as leads because you're going to take them on and do a lot more with them to develop your digital business. And this means you need to design your processes to make it easy for these leads to buy from you. So while everyone else is paying Google and Facebook for advertising, what if there is a better way? And there is. You go to online course platforms, marketplaces like Udemy, Skillshare, StackSkill. There are many others. As I say, I get approached at the moment about one new marketplace a week asking me to put my courses up there. and they want to host your content so that they can sell it. And of course, they then showcase you and your expertise to the people they've already warmed up for you. And of course, you can take this one course and publish it on multiple marketplaces and get it to work for you in different places. And that's where often digital entrepreneurs go wrong, because they produce either massively long content, much more complex than it needs to be, and sell it for a low price, or they treat the students as just a single student, don't try and develop a relationship for them, and go hunting for more students instead of seeing them for what they are, which is basically an entry-level lead to take forward into your business. So you need to create a course that the platforms can promote widely, but you let them pay the advertising and you collect the sales. And of course, if you build a portfolio of these courses, you appeal to a wider audience, and that just makes the strategy even more effective. But the trick is that you just create the courses that you need to create in terms of their size, length, and complexity to achieve what we're trying to achieve, which is to get a paid lead. You don't create a 32-hour masterclass in something and then sell it for $9. So what do you look at when you see this slide? Now, a lot of people will look at that and say, well, actually, that's a whole portfolio of courses, and that's actually a course, a course selling exercise. Well, it's not. It's a lead generation exercise. That is just a slide shot of some of my courses on Udemy, and every single one of those generates leads for me, even though they're also, of course, generating money for me, which is the brilliant part of this. They are a lead generation. So that's secret number one, which is you go to marketplaces where you can put up very straightforward courses and let people pay you to join your list in effect. So secret number two is all about generating organic traffic. And by organic traffic, I of course mean traffic that you don't pay for. So how do we do this? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to find out what your students want, and you give it to them. And we've already established you've got a skill or an expertise. So what do they want? Well, what they want is very simple. They want valuable content, so you don't hold back, which is easy and fast to consume. Let me be more specific. First of all, time is valuable, and your lead's attention span is short. So you need to give them short courses which are easy and fast to consume. You avoid all the flannel and the fluff, and you give them the information they need to understand the what and the how of solving the problem that you're going to solve for them. Which brings me on to the second point, which is that your course must address a specific problem or issue, and avoid generalized courses which provide background information. You're looking for that pain point, that problem point that you are going to be solving for your audience. Now, of course, you have to start off with your relationship with your students and develop that relationship so they come to know, like, and trust you. But to start with, they won't pay very high prices. You need to get them in at a low price point and then take them on to more complex premium content for which they have to pay more. Remember, these students are initially leads, and you turn them into a customer over that little threshold that they cross when they cross the door of paying you something, but you need to entice them in with appropriate prices. Of course, you must make sure that your courses contain great content, don't hold anything back, and really enhance the skills and the expertise of your students. And if you do that, they will see how valuable that is. And if you offer them something bigger, better, and more expensive, they will be, really enthusiastic to get into it, because you will have already proven to them how good you are. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with the content today. The ideal leads course looks like this. It should be short, 30 to 60 minutes. It should address a pain and offer a solution, which you communicate in the title. And critically, you don't put everything you've got into the course. So you may have a lot more information to share about this particular pain and problem. Yes, you want to take them through the pain and through the solution you have for them and give them a result at the end of it. So you do take them from A to B, but you need to keep it simple and to the point. And then when they want the more complex offering, you can obviously upsell them. Another good tip is that in your course, in the very early stages, normally after the introductory lecture, try to get a really great win, a really strong content lecture that is really going to get them hooked into the course. And by doing that, you immediately demonstrate to them how valuable your content is. And that will definitely help to convert them into more committed customers and more committed members of your community. Now, the advantage of holding stuff back is that you can then give people the opportunity to go and get maybe a checklist, a cheat sheet or something else. Maybe it's a slide deck to the site, and you offer them that opportunity and click them across to your website. And this is where start of this, you're starting to train, and we'll talk about this in more detail as we go through, to train your audience to go and find more of your content elsewhere, particularly in places where they're going to have opportunities to either get an upsell or maybe to get an opt-in to something else. The point about this is that on some of these marketplaces, the marketplace is very protective about the student email address. But if you play it smart, you can take them off the marketplace and get their email addresses. Of course, you can still promote to them and work with them within the marketplace and still make money from them there as well. Think of your courses as paid lead magnets. Now, obviously, lead magnets are normally very short and easy to consume. And as a result, they are seldom worth paying for. But if you provide them with a video course, which has got some great content in it, then people will be prepared to pay for it. And I'm talking here at prices at around $7 to $27. It's the sort of price where people will make a purchase without really thinking about it too hard. Because even though the platforms don't want to give you the email address, once you've got them across that threshold and they've made the first purchase, then they're wide open to you to communicate with them and to get them to move elsewhere in order to find more of your content. So don't play dirty, play smart. And I'll share with you some more strategies now to show you how to do that. The first of these is that you can actually, with these courses, collect the emails on the way in. Now, surprisingly, few people do this. But if you put out a landing page which offers one of these courses as a sophisticated lead magnet, you invite them to sign up to your list. You've got their email, and you give them a whopping discount in order to sign up and get into the course. And as a consequence, you've got the email. So even if you take them over to somewhere like Udemy, you've already got their email address off them before they go in. Secondly, think about creating your courses in modules. And by having this modular framework, it means that you can break the course down into different segments. So, for example, if I had a course about creating online courses, I could have a planning the course phase. I could have a module about course production. I have a course module about launching the course, and maybe a course module about promoting it. But I don't give all that to the students straight away, to these leads straight away. I just maybe make available the planning the course one and invite them to buy that for a very modest amount of money. But at the end of that, having got that lead hooked and really committed to the process, you give them the opportunity to buy further modules from you, probably over on a hosted platform like Teachable or Thinkific, rather than leaving them on somewhere like Udemy or Skillshare, so that they can come across and pay a premium for the rest of the content because you've only given them one module. And by moving them across, you also then, when they sign up to a hosted platform rather than a marketplace, you get the email address as well. But what if you've already got existing courses? And here's an example. This is some of the lectures listed from one of my courses on mergers and acquisitions. And what this shows you is you can take an existing course and restructure it, because this course runs to over 100 lectures, and just publish a bite-sized part of it. So it would be, what does the term mergers and acquisitions mean? So helping people to initially understand what M&A is all about. You solve that pain point for them. And then at the end of that, you give them the opportunity to go and learn more about M&A and corporate finance, how to value a business, how to plan an M&A project in other courses elsewhere. So you can take existing content and break it down into its existing modules and do this very easily. You don't have to start from scratch. The next thing I would encourage you to do is to make the next steps very clear. And the point about this is, unless you tell people what to do, and unless you tell them what you want them to do, then at the end of the course, they'll just sort of sit there and they won't take any action. So at the end of your short course, after the summary paragraph, you need to have a lecture that says next steps. And then you tell them about the other modules around the topic that you can share with them and where they can go and get it. Now, in Udemy, you would have thought that you'd have to keep them on Udemy, but this is called the bonus lecture in Udemy. And it's the one place where you can actually effectively sell them your content off Udemy in other places. So you can take them to Teachable or Thinkific or to your own website without any sanction at all. So by giving them the information, they've paid to get into your course, they've become a lead, and now you're allowed to go and take them off somewhere else completely where you can do whatever you like with them. And this is pure gold, because they've already bought into you as an inspiring thought leader in the topic, and you can take them elsewhere where you can sell to them and you can develop your relationship with them. Of course, the key to this is you have to communicate regularly. Now, the communication can take two forms. You can communicate with them with educational content, which helps to build engagement and builds trust. So you educate them further. You can give them another cheat sheet. You might produce a new video around explaining a point in some detail that maybe a student's asked you about, and you take them to that on a regular basis. And of course, you're allowed to promote to them, because once you've got them in there, you can send them an offer for another course somewhere else. And that gives you a fantastic opportunity to build that relationship. But you're building a relationship with somebody who's already paid you. And because you're able to do that, the probability that they will pay you again is so much higher. Leads want to be led. That sounds fairly obvious. If any of you have got any familiarity with Robert Cialdini and his book Influence, he talks about the micro commitments that people make when you tell them to click on something and they go and click on it. And as you build up those micro commitments, you build up a pattern of behavior that becomes self-reinforcing. So when you are telling them to go and click on these links for an educational announcement or to go and visit your website or your social properties, you're training your audience to do what you want them to do. And of course, then when you ask them to deepen that relationship by buying something from you, you've got a much more receptive, warm audience. And these are leads who, don't forget, who are really dying to buy and to consume your content. Another great little trick here is to create supplementary materials to your courses, which you don't make available in the course. You make sure you take them off the course, but when you present that information to them, like this course launch checklist, on the right-hand side in the website column, they have an opportunity to sign up for this amazing ebook. And even if you haven't already got their email address because they've come from somewhere like Udemy or Skillshare or wherever it is, the chances of them being tempted by that little lead magnet there means that they're going to continue to convert with you. You've trained them, they're used to doing as you're told, and they're very likely to sign up to that. So by giving them more information, you're also increasing the chances that you're going to actually really end up with them on your actual email list, which is a fantastic opportunity to be exploited. Now, of course, it doesn't stop there. What is your goal in all this? Well, the goal and the objective is to provide your leads with multiple opportunities to buy from you. And this doesn't just mean video courses. This can mean you could take the audio track from your course, you can turn it effectively into an audio book. I've done that with one of my courses. You can take the scripts that you've written and you can turn them into ebooks and put them out on Amazon Kindle. And that's another way to generate leads who will be paying you for the privilege of consuming your content. And of course, you can turn some of this content into cheat sheets and checklists, which gives more opportunity to consume your content, of course. And some of these could be just ordinary lead magnets, but you could also, because they're going to be so good, make them payable. And don't forget, the trick here is to get these leads across the threshold to pay you something. And even if it's only $1, that's fine, because you've established a relationship with them, which is based on the principle that they pay you money for your content. So don't be worried about trying to make a fortune out of them to start with. The key is to get them into that group of self-qualifying leads who are the people who want to pay you, and you leave behind all the freebie hunters who are basically going to be wasting your time. Now, let me show you how I can do this with an educational announcement. And now on Udemy, I can send out 4 a month. So I send out, I set up an educational announcement, and Udemy are quite strict about what you're allowed to do with these. But the point I want to bring into you is what you are allowed to do with them. So you can send out an announcement about a teaching webinar. And what a wonderful opportunity it is to get to know people and to talk to them and to share useful information with them in a webinar. So I could send out a webinar invitation to 70,000 people to come for an educational webinar. Now, in that webinar, there would have to be no selling, but that's fine. I'm getting their attention for a meaningful period of time and really deepening the relationship. You can, of course, take them across to your blog post. You can take them across to any other websites, YouTube, etc., where you've got educational content for them. So it's really valuable. So let's try and summarize. This is secret number 2. There's been a lot in this. As you can see, I'm really trying not to hold back. So what do your leads want? And you give it to them. Well, they want fast and easy courses that have got lots of value in and that they can consume very easily. And effectively, these are paid lead magnets. And the purpose of these is to get them into a situation where they paid you money and you can engage and communicate with them. Of course, you can collect their emails on the way in, but if you don't, you can collect their emails on the way out. Use modular course design to give them a piece of the pie and then offer the opportunity to buy the rest of the pie from you somewhere else, off of a marketplace and onto a hosted platform. If you don't have, if you've already got content, then don't go and create new content to do this. Restructure your existing courses, but make sure that you provide clear next steps and clear direction for them. And of course, use supplementary materials, educational announcements to train your audience and to give them multiple opportunities to buy from you across different formats and different types of content. So secret number 3 is that you want to get people to buy from you using your courses as a tripwire. So what is a tripwire? Well, it's very simple. A tripwire is literally a very low cost item that transforms the potential prospect into a customer. You go from being a lead to being a customer because they pay you money. And in this case, you're using your online courses to build up a group of people who are going to be your future leads for your business, but they pre-qualify themselves by giving you a little bit of money to start with. And it's all about making the right offer. Now, here's 2 examples of my courses. And you can see here that in the first course, I've got 864 students enrolled, and they have paid me $3,774.99. And in fact, I've made $70 this month to become leads. And in the second course, there's 3,307, and a lot of them have come into the course through Udemy for Business. So I get paid in the business earnings, which is why it's earned slightly less. But I've made $66 this month from the new signups, but I've made nearly $3,000 since I've had the course on the site. Now, what's also interesting about this, although you can't see it, is that the top course is actually a very long course. It doesn't need to be. The bottom course has got 17 lectures in it. It's one of my shortest courses. And this is really where I've learned the lesson that actually you don't need to have these mega courses out there. This is the proof of the pudding, that even such a short course can still earn me nearly $3,000. And it's giving me over 3,300 leads whom I can continue to develop my relationship with, which is absolutely what I love doing. So essentially, I've got 70,000 leads out there, and I've got somebody else doing all my marketing for me. And I'm getting people paying me to become those leads. So what you need to do is to sell your Tripwire offer. And of course, this brings us round to the point that you need something to sell. Now, one of the biggest issues I have come across in talking to people is that, Seth, I've seen your point. How long or short can a lecture be? Very simple answer to that is lectures need to be about 5 minutes, because in terms of attention span, that's long enough to get some useful information across, and it's not so long that people get bored. It's better to have lots of short lectures than one 20-minute or 25-minute lecture. So 5-minute lectures in a 60-minute course gives you 12 lectures. And that's you have an introduction, a summary, and that's as simple as it needs to get. So what, of course, this means is that you need to know how to create online courses, and you need to get away from the worry that creating online courses is going to be overwhelming. Because I know when I started, it took me 6 months to create my first online course. It made me $1,000 in the first month, but it still took me a hell of a long time to create it. And I don't want you to have that overwhelm. I want to help you to overcome it so that it actually becomes something so much easier than you think it's going to be. So let me ask you a question. Has this training been valuable? Have I actually delivered on what I said I would do, which is to give you some really in-depth, no-holds-barred insights into how you can use this strategy to generate your online courses and your leads from them? So Seth has said, yes, thank you very much, Seth. John, good content so far. Really appreciate that. Linda, yes, brilliant. I appreciate the comments. Say, my whole approach is to be as open and as giving as possible, because that's the best way to help you. And it's the best way also to develop our relationship in an open and giving way, rather than trying to hold anything back. So the problem I have is in a webinar, as ever, there's only a limited amount of time. So what I would like to do is to show you how you can actually implement this strategy and make it easy for yourself, i.e. to take it to the next level. So hopefully you're up for that and you're happy for me to show you that. Now, obviously you're on a webinar, you know how it works. And what I have to offer you is some advanced training on how you can become a master at not only creating courses, but also marketing them and then developing the strategy further. The program I'm talking about is my expert equation program, Make Money with Online Courses. This is where I have gone into a huge amount of detail to try to show you exactly how I put together my online courses business so that I can generate all these leads. Now, you've seen how online courses can create the leads that pay you rather than the other way around. You can have confidence that you're completely capable of doing this yourself. I haven't yet met anybody who can't make an online course once the system's explained to them. And once you understand how to do it, you can actually create and get results really quickly with this. So I'm very excited to share this with you and take you into a little bit more depth about the program. Now, the program breaks down into 6 modules, and you can see them on the screen here. I'm going to go into them in a little bit more detail, but every module has got videos, checklists, cheat sheets, everything's inside these. I haven't put anything off and outside, and they help you not only to create the courses, but actually to build a broad-based digital information business on the internet, which will generate you these paid leads. Now, I literally take you from the starting point of choosing your topic through how you produce your course, how you publish and establish your credibility with it, and how you then promote it, and then how you expand your authority across a wide number of platforms. And I'm there in the course with you every step of the way. You'll never need to doubt again that you'll know exactly what you need to do. So let me show you the course structure very quickly so you understand how it works. There are 6 modules. The first module, I explain how the course works and obviously introduce you to some of the key concepts of creating an online course. In module 2, I go through planning the course. In module 3, I show you exactly how to produce it. In module 4, I take you through all the different steps of how to publish a course. And in module 5, I cover promotion in depth. And then finally, platforms is showing you how you can expand widely across the internet using a whole range of different platforms to become, if you like, an ecosystem of lead generation for your business. Now, I could go into these in a lot of detail. I'm conscious of the fact that your time is valuable, but you've got the different modules. Now, each module is a standalone. As I explained, it's a modular approach, a standalone course in itself. In the first one, I explain the outline and the structure and the framework that I'm going to take you through. It also makes it very understandable and easy to pick up on. And it takes away the fear of online courses because it gives you a very clear roadmap to follow. And there's also quite a lot of bonus content in this with additional coaching sessions with experienced instructors providing much more detail so that you get a really comprehensive understanding of what's involved in creating online courses before you start. That module alone has a value of $297. In module 2, the planning module, you will identify your expertise, the best course topics for you to teach, and how to outline and structure your course. These are some of the core questions I get asked all the time, and it really demystifies this whole process. And of course, it is important. Prior planning and preparation prevents poor performance. It's really important for you to understand and to plan your course before you actually start doing it. You have to walk before you learn to walk before you can run, obviously. Now, this module, which if you know nothing about courses is a great thing to do, again, on its own, I sell for $497. Module 3 is the sort of nuts and bolts module. It's the production module. And the whole idea about this is to take away all the mistakes that you would otherwise make, which and mistakes, of course, cost time and mistakes cost money. I show you how to record your course. I show you how to copyright. I show you how to search engine optimize your course and how to get your branding right. So there's lots of detail in this. I also show you how to create a high impact promotional video for your course. The course alone will save you huge amounts of time and an awful lot of money. And that's also on my Thinkific platform that sells for $497 every day of the week. In module 4, publication. Now, publication is quite a complex process, because you have your pre-launch, your launch, and your post-launch phases. And I take you through each of these step by step. And it's important that you do these in the right order and that you build the momentum for your course as you go. And if you don't do that, your course will launch like a damp squib. And that's why this module is so valuable. And again, it has a $497 value. The promotion module is really all about learning the lesson that you can't just put it out there. If I build it, they will come. It doesn't work like that. You have to keep actively out there promoting your courses to get the momentum going. Of course, a lot of the paid work is being done for you by the marketplace. But if you want to sell your own courses on your own platforms, your own hosted platforms, then you do need to know how to do your own promotion. So this is taking what we've been talking about today to the next level. Yes, you've got the marketplaces providing you with the leads, but you need to know how to promote to those leads in order to sell them and upsell them the more complex and higher value content. And that's what this is all about. And finally, platforms. And this is where I was delivering this this content in a seminar, a live seminar. And there's a lot of the content of that is shown in the course. Platforms is all about making your online business more than a one-trick pony, making it much more sustainable, exploiting different channels and different types of media content. So I'm really taking you beyond online courses, even beyond the topic of this webinar, into creating a sustainable digital business. And for that reason, you get this program, and it's unlocking the expert equation inside you, which is why I've called it that. It's figuring out how that formula works so that you can go out and present yourself to the world as an authority, as an expert. So you get effectively 6 courses in one. There's loads of video lectures, slide decks, cheat sheets, checklists, bonus video, audio tracks, etc. So I've really brought everything I can into this, consumable on demand. So once you've got it, you can take it at your own pace, and to really make it as comprehensive and as effective as possible. Now, I actually presented this, as I mentioned, at a live workshop. That was the first time I presented this course, and I got that live workshop videoed. So not only do you get all this content delivered, you actually get to see me delivering it to a live audience as well, which hopefully makes it more engaging and more interesting for you, if nothing else. So by the end of this course, you will know how to create and publish courses. You will have answered the question of how you can create this stream of leads, because I'm going to give you everything you need to know, as well as clear promotional strategies, and as well as a direct roadmap for creating your own digital business. But if your sole goal at the early stage is just to create paying leads who are going to pay you to be on your list, then this course will give you all that content and so much more. So what's the total value of all this? It is an awful lot of content, and it probably took an awful lot of time and a lot of learning experience on my part to put it together. Well, if you add it all up, this course, if you buy it on its own and you get all the component parts, is $2,782. It always ends up being a really funny number like that. And obviously, because 497, and the 7 being the way to sell, people respond to that more through the internet. So that's why you get all these funny prices. So $2,700. Well, I'm not going to ask you for that, because I value your commitment to the webinar. I value your commitment to this whole process. And I also value you as being part of SES community. And I want to put something really special on the table for you. So I won't make it not $1,997 either. I'm actually going to make this whole course just $997. But I don't want you to sort of stop there. Okay, the expert equation is, yes, it's all about helping you to master online courses so you can grow your list with paying leads. But I also want to take it beyond that. So I've lined up as well some fast acting bonuses to make this even more interesting for you. Now, the first one, and this is completely unique, nobody else can offer you this, is to answer the question, what topic should I be creating my course around? Well, I'm going to give you access, and it's a spreadsheet that I have built, which is my Udemy course directory. It's got 29,000 different courses. It's all searchable, and it's all organized in a very simple spreadsheet. If you can use Excel, you can use this, so that you can go and investigate and see who else is creating the courses, what categories and subcategories they're in, who the authors are, the ratings they've got, the prices they've been selling them, the number of students. And I also give you the link, which you can take back and have a look at the course today in Udemy. So it's a really valuable piece of research. I'm the only one who's put this together and publishing it, and I'm going to include it. I normally sell this for $497 on Thinkific, but I'm going to include this in this package. Now, the second question is, well, okay, if I can do all this, what if I'm going to struggle to get my initial sales together? And so I've got a solution to that, which is a pretty tight course, but it's 10 steps to getting your first paid students. And this is like a bonus, which is going to help you to get your course up and running and get those leads coming in as quickly as possible. Remember, I said it's all about momentum, and this is going to give you the nudge you need to get started and get your initial sales and get that momentum going as quickly as possible. But I'm not stopping there. What if you are new to online marketing and you may be thinking, as a result, you don't know how to sell courses, you don't know how to actually do this online marketing and promotion? Well, if you're an experienced copywriter, of course, you'd understand the psychology of selling and it wouldn't worry you at all. So what happens if I solve that problem for you? And I give you my copywriting masterclass, which actually is one of my best-selling courses. It's got a huge amount of detail. And once you've gone through that, even though I say it myself, you'll be so much more confident about your online marketing, and particularly about writing the content, the description, the copy for those landing pages, the sales pages and all that, which will help you to then obviously become a much more effective seller, promoter of your courses, and it's going to help people to get drawn into them even more, because they're going to read this wonderful landing page and be convinced, and they will convert faster. But I'm not finished there. I want to really try and give you every possible tool I can to help you to be successful. So what if you're still worried about messaging your students to get them to buy from you? Well, I've got that covered, because I've got a course I wrote on mastering promotional emails, which is actually quite a complex art in its own right. And I've studied hundreds of different messages I've received from all sorts of other instructors, looking at how they've been doing it, what works, what doesn't work. And I put that into a course, and I'm going to include that as the fast acting bonus number 4. We haven't finished, I'm afraid. You may still be nervous about selling even after all this, and hopefully you're not getting overwhelmed by all this. I'll summarize it for you in a minute. Well, what if it's difficult and you don't know how to sell? Well, selling isn't as difficult as you think. And I've got a course which is systems and strategies for more sales, and I will explain to you exactly how you can go about selling and promoting your own courses. That's in that course, and that's included in this. Now, finally, what about support? What if you want to ask me questions and to be in touch with me and to keep in contact with me? Well, obviously, I can't be available to everybody all the time, But what I can do is to bring you into my VIP Facebook group, which is a very small group. I've got over 1,000 people in one of my other groups, but there's a very, very limited number. It's tens of people in this VIP Facebook group. I'm in there fairly regularly. As a member of that group, you can also then obviously message me. And if you come into the course in this program now, you'll get that bonus and you'll be invited to come into the group. And once I've seen your name against the members of the course, I will approve you into the group, and you'll get access to the team there. And then you'll get not only support from me, but obviously be able to ask questions and get community support as well. So what does this all add up to? Well, as well as the expert equation program itself, I won't read them out to you again. You've got the ability to read as well as I can. But basically, I've stacked for you courses and content which I've selected to try and anticipate problems and issues you may have, which go beyond the expert equation program itself. And I hope you'll agree that it's pretty all-encompassing. And if the courses themselves don't help you, then the last fallback position, the Facebook group membership, will give you that support that you need. And of course, the question is, there's a huge amount of value there, but is it all worth it? Well, if all I did was to basically help you to set up and sell your own first online course, which would be opening the floodgates to all these paid leads, would it be worth it? What if I just gave you that nudge, that kick? I can't use words which are inappropriate, and I know the Americans have got some great phrases for this, but imagine applying a size 10 boot to a pristine posterior, and I think you get where I'm coming from on this. But if I just gave you that nudge you needed to get started, to get you over the line, to take action, would it be worth it? But what if I could help you to make $10,000, which is like a more than 10x return on your investment, which is only $833 a month in your first year, which is more than easily achievable, then this course would be worth it. But of course, the objective of the course is, the objective of the program and the whole exercise is to help you to build this sustainable lead generation engine full of people who are paying you every day to become your leads. So the price remains the same, but all these bonuses are in to try to make sure that I've answered and addressed every question and issue you might have. And I'm really trying to make this as easy and as comprehensive as I can. So let me ask you a question. And I'm sure you've been on these webinars before. You get all excited, you get fired up, and then what happens next? What happens the next day? Well, possibly nothing, because although I've shown you everything that I can do to help you, and obviously there's a limit to what I can do now, and I've shown you how you can create this system that generates leads. If you don't take the action, then obviously nothing will happen. You would simply go back to where you were, definition of insanity, doing today what you've always done, hoping it'll get a different result. But of course, the reason that people are like that is because old habits are hard to break. You'll go back to your office or wherever it is you are right now, and you'll fall back into the same habits, the same routine. So I need to encourage you to break that cycle, to get across and actually start to do something new. And the way you're going to do it is by investing in the program and by joining my community and letting me help you and take you forward. And if you do that, then I'm going to provide you with all the tools you need to be successful. And of course, if you don't, then everything we've just gone through in the last hour will probably be pretty useless, because you'll just go back to the old pattern of behavior. So I really want you to break that pattern and to go forward. Now, let me make it even easier for you, because I understand the importance of guarantees. If you invest in this and you don't think it's right for you, and I'm not going to discuss with you why it's right or wrong, you come back to me and you say it's not right for me, I will return you 100% of your investment without any quibble in the first 30 days. But you can keep all the bonuses, because I still think they'll be fantastically valuable to you. You may well then come back to me. You'll still be in my community. You won't be in my expert equation program, but it won't have cost you a cent. So you'll get 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days, and you get to keep all the bonuses I've outlined to you. And I couldn't make it fairer or simpler than that. So how do you do this? Now, there's a very simple link there. That's my website, jbdcolley.com/WVVIP1. That's all you need to do, is to follow that link. And at the end of this webinar, I'll redirect you all to the link, because I can do that with this webinar system, but I can't put a button on the screen. But if you just go to that link, jbdcolley.com/WVIP1, and you can invest and enroll in the expert equation program now. Now, let's look at it this way. There's people in life, and they can have one or two things. You can either have money or they can have excuses, and that's fine. Okay, everybody's got the two options. And option one is you can sign up today and start fast tracking growing your list. Or option two, you can come up with some excuse why maybe, it wasn't right for you, you're not ready for it, or whatever it is. And that's fine as well. But the reality is you can't have both, I'm afraid. You can't have the success and the progress if you simply take the excuses. You actually have to decide which way you want to go. Do you want to go down the new route where we're going to develop something exciting, or do you want to stay on the pattern you're on right now? And if you want to be with me and join me on this this journey, then what you have to do is to enroll and get started. Now, I promised you a reward for being here at the end of the webinar, and here it is. I've got a course which teaches you how to use the Udemy Marketplace Insights tool. When you sign up to Udemy as an instructor, which is free to do, you get access to their Udemy Insights. This is their live information, which is interrogable. You can go in and test it and ask it questions and test scenarios. And it helps you to really understand how to get the most out of Udemy. But I've built a course which shows you how to get the most out of that tool. And if you use that link, Web VIP bonus, you can enroll in that course for free, and you will get all that insight into how to get the most out of exploiting that marketplace so that they can go and find the leads for you. So this is like a little treasure map of understanding how to get the most out of Udemy. And again, it's a really well-selling course I've got, but I want to give it to you for just being here, regardless of where you go from now. Okay, we're nearly there. What I'd love to do now is to start seeing some questions. I'll do my best to answer anything that you want to throw at me about anything I've said, or anything you want to ask about online courses, or about this whole process, this whole system. And I will do my best to address them. And I'm happy to be here for as long as it takes to make sure I've got all your questions answered. If you're still here, perhaps just pop into the box and say hello. Just let me know I'm still talking to you, because it would be great to hear from you. Welcome to Subroto. I haven't been able to say hello to you earlier on because I was hard at it, but very happy to see your questions and see what I can do to help you now. So by all means, put your questions in, and I will watch the questions box and I'll pick them up as we go. Seth, thank you very much. Appreciate what awesome webinar. Pages of notes, and can't wait to get started. Well, I'd be very happy to work with you, as you know, Seth, because I think you're a fairly amazing thought leader in your own right. Let's look at another way of looking at this. Basically, sort of the two types of people who tend to show up on these webinars, sort of us versus them. The first, these types of people are timid, nervous. They come on, they think it's really cool, makes sense, they want to do it, but they don't take action. And I'm sure you're not that sort of person, and I'm sure you don't like working with people like that. And frankly, you rarely end up working with people like that because they don't take the action in the first place. They're the people who don't get it, who are not successful. They're not the people like us. The people like us are the people who get onto webinars or get hold of new information, realize that they can do something amazing with it, and they take action and do it, and they get results and they make things happen. And I want to challenge you to establish which camp you are in. Are you an us or are you a them? And I'm sure all of you who are still here, because you are all still here, nobody has dropped off, you are definitely one of the us team. I'm sure if there were any of the them players around the place, they would have dropped off by now. Now, there's nothing special about me. I wanted to put this picture up because I dug it out from my military days. That's me in the middle with my tank crews. I was commanding 3 tanks at the time, and those are the guys. As you can see, we're not exactly hygienic, and it's not exactly the sort of standard photo that you'd expect to see. But there's nothing really special about me. I've spent a lot of time, as you can see, doing the hard graft, working out what's going on. Linda's asked a question. Will we purchase these courses later? I've just paid $7,000 to have my, well, congratulations on the book published. Yeah, I mean, yes, of course, you can come back later. The offer will be open for a few days, but I can't promise that this offer is still going to be available in this form in any time in the future, because I don't leave this offer lying on the table indefinitely. But certainly I don't want to put you off, Linda. When you're ready to come back, definitely come back and talk to me, and then we can take it from there. But I completely understand what it's like when you have to get these things going and you have limited resources and you have to make judgments about the allocation. So you just to sort of try to round things off, you can get started for the 997 price today. That's the link. Let me just walk you through the enrollment process, because it's fairly simple. There's only really 2.5 steps for you to do, but I don't want you to be put off with it. If you follow the link, you'll go to a screen like this, and this is step 1 of 2 of creating an account and then enrolling in the course in Thinkific. You need to enter your name and an email address to create the password. You have to accept their terms and conditions, which are pretty straightforward. If you don't have a if you already have a Thinkific account, then you can click on the bottom and sign straight in. And then you can also, I think, use your LinkedIn credentials to create an account. And then in step 2, this is where you enroll. You either sign up for the program. You'll see the discounts already in there. I've tested the link. I know it'll work. If anybody has any different experience, definitely message me. But I say I've run the test and I know it works. You put your credit card number in and the details. You can also pay with PayPal. And you can see there's a PayPal button and it takes you to that screen. This is all handled by Thinkific. I don't handle any of the financials. The Thinkific platform handles it all. So I will never have access to your information. And they are also extremely careful about how they deal with it. Yeah, Linda, point taken. That's absolutely fine. And I really respect where you are. I really hope your husband's book goes really well. Maybe you should be turning some of the content that you've got in the book into a course and doing something amazing with that. So that is pretty well it. I guess, if not now, when? Well, you know, when will a challenge to you? When are you going to be able to launch your first online course and get started generating leads? When will you finally stop struggling to get started? When you start building your community of paying subscribers? Entirely down to you. I've done everything I can for you tonight. Very happy, as I say, to hang on for a bit and answer questions. But that's really the end of the presentation. And I hope that, if nothing else, whether you join me in the program or not, hopefully I've given you loads to think about, loads of ideas that you can develop to develop your own leads and your own lead generation. But if you want to do it with me and to really accelerate the process and make it super easy and a lot faster, then it would be a great pleasure to do that with you. Okay, so if there's nothing else, then I'm going to sign off and draw a line under it. Thank you all very much for being with me. If you're watching this on replay, then you can still get the bonuses, but you won't be able to get the extra bonus unless I forget to take the link down. But you better be quick if that's the case. And it's been great to spend the time with you tonight. Really appreciate you being with me, and I look forward to working with you in the course as part of my tribe and my community going forward.